Let me get mine organized.
Don't forget to
Mute. I already muted.
We're a step ahead. We're live.
That was the quickest dinner I've ever eaten.
Yeah.
Scarfing it down.
And it's still not quite dark out yet. Although it looks like it's getting dark.
Yeah. 9 o'clock usually. That's about the time. That starts to kind of go dusky.
We have 21 more days of 20 more days of long days, and then they all start going downhill from there.
Is that what it is? June 21st or something like that?
So
is then it
20 more days.
Jeepers.
Pretty crazy.
It is. But hopefully we get some rain.
Yeah, I was actually listening to the tiny bit. I was listening to the listening to the weather on the radio today. Apparently for our area, apparently for our area, we are the driest it's been for the month of May ever. Yesterday was month of May, but so that's pretty crazy because May is not usually a dry month.
We've had nothing. Absolutely.
Have we had any rain?
Well, it spit for like 20 seconds this morning. Like literally just a few little spits. Couldn't even see them on the ground, on the deck. I don't know if we have actually had any rain, really.
I'm trying to think if we have, we haven't had much.
No. But that's okay. It'll come. And then we'll have too much rain, and then it'll be the opposite. Then there'll be lots of bugs.
It's the only advantage is there's not very many mosquitoes.
Well, gotta have something to complain about. Not enough rain, too much rain, bugs, hot. Actually, we're gonna get hot. It's supposed to be
30,
not
31?
tomorrow, but the next day, isn't it?
Friday.
Yeah, it's
Friday,
supposed to get hot.
Through next week.
So
it's supposed to be really hot.
Yeah, which is I'm not looking forward to that.
No.
We still have so much stuff to do. Our poor little plants, they got, hey, Indiana, backyard gardener, how you doing? Yeah, our poor little plants, we put them out and they just went, ooh.
That was just the one type of kale.
I know. One of our kale plants, or a couple of our kale plants had gotten kind of leggy, and yeah, they just kind of flopped.
They're not dead though.
No, they'll bounce back, but it's kind of one of those things of it's not even the full heat yet. So hopefully they bounce back before the weekend when it gets to really bad.
I'm not holding my breath unless we get rain.
A little chilly.
That's not necessarily a terrible thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
We're like you're saying, we're about to go the opposite way and go.
But it has been cold.
A cool spring.
Up till, yeah. We had a real hot spell, then it got cool, and now it's hot again. And yeah, it's going to be, I'm terrible with converting it to American or Fahrenheit, but we're supposed to be 32. We're going from, it was, what day did we cover the plants? That was not yesterday, the day before. It was
Monday?
It was 2 degrees at night. Sunday. We were like, Saturday night. There's a frost warning. Yeah. And then 3 days later, we're 32 degrees.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Big temperature swing.
So.
But yeah, the kale's pretty hardy. The red Russian kale we have, that's like yay big. We planted it out this week or weekend, and it's doing really well. I actually think it's grown. But it was I can never remember the name of it. It's the
dwarf curly kale or something.
Scotch kale. Anyways, it's got a longer name. Yeah, it went a little leggy in the greenhouse because it was on the floor. That's why. But
yeah, we ran out of space.
Yeah.
We got a little over ambitious with how much we planted.
Yeah, and we tempered ourselves. We tried to stagger things a bit, but it still all comes at the same time.
Yeah. Blue Scotch, that's probably it, yeah.
It might be. It's growing, like, a couple of them have sort of bounced back.
Hey, Drops.
Hello, Drops.
Bates Blue.
I will get the thingy because
It's going to bug you if you don't.
It's going to bug me if I don't.
How are you doing tonight, Drops? Hopefully good. We've had a few ups and downs, and then got some nice weather to get stuff planted in the garden, which is fantastic. We are still behind, but miles ahead of what we normally are. Because normally we are, it's downstairs in the grow room.
Oh, well, I won't worry
it's on the top shelf in the grow room.
I'll never find it.
Yes, the tired planting, definitely. It is between tending to critters and trying to get things planted in a timely fashion.
And June is the worst. May wasn't too bad because we really couldn't plant.
Well, no, we just kept starting and starting. So that's where our dilemma is now. It's like we were in the garden when we were planting our eggplants, and we got, was it 36? We put 36 in, and we still had 18 more. And we were trying to decide whether we really needed the 18 more, because it was kind of one of those, where are we going to put everything? But we ended up, we found a spot. We found a spot. Hey, Cindy Squirrel. But yes, planted carrots today. Yes, we did that as well.
Half of our carrots. We still have to do another.
Yes, sorry. We planted a purple carrot. It's a hybrid that we bought by accident. So we planted that because they are completely for eating purposes. We're not obviously saving seeds from them. And then we've got the dragon carrots to get going on. So
I will figure out the name of it. I'm just not going down to the basement right now. We actually were thinking about that because we started quite a few, and it's like
I'm gonna go
get the eggplants.
It's gonna bug me.
It's gonna bug you now.
Yeah,
you're gonna go downstairs.
I'll go get it.
Like with the eggplants, we toyed with the idea of maybe trying to sell some, but then we're like, we have them, and we didn't know if we'd have other stuff to sell with them, so we just planted them. We'll find more garden space. We've got some plans. I was gonna say something about what was I gonna say? I don't remember now. Something about vegetables. How's that for a broad topic? Oh, nice! You planted out your sweet potatoes. We've been holding off on that because I think we can possibly this weekend plant some out, but some of ours are getting pretty big. But we didn't want to take the risk, and we're kind of glad we didn't, given that it went as cold as it did.
Well, we need to. There you go. Dwarf curled Scotch.
There we go. They're probably all very closely related. Similar varieties.
Yeah. Not blue at all.
No. It's a bluish green color, though.
Yes, and just as an FYI, we need to water what's left down there.
Okay, we can do that.
This is a problem. We have a few sweet potatoes and our stevia and stuff still in the grow room downstairs, and kind of it gets neglected because nothing else is down there and we don't even think about going in there. I did rescue my basil the other day. It had gone.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, but it had all developed flowering down there. So I was like, oops. So I quickly got the flowers off and took it outside to the greenhouse. Mm-hmm. But
I think parsnips should be okay. They're pretty cold hardy. And I know where you are, Cindy, I don't think there's a lot of wild parsnip, but it is up your way. So I think they will probably be, they'd probably be fine because that's a pretty deep raised bed. So I would try it. They're super cold hardy. And like you say, they're better in the spring to harvest them. That's what we do with some of the wild ones. They're sweeter, which is kind of cool. Yeah, this is the first year we're growing this dwarf Scotch kale. I don't know why I can't remember that. So we'll see how it does. But we've been growing the red Russian kale for quite a while, and really like it. So we've got a lot going. Or a lot of them going, I should say. So I imagine everybody right now is kind of in the what do you call that?
Full on garden craziness.
Yeah, gardening like mad. Let's see. It's the one downfall to living where we do, and we're not even that bad because we're pretty mild. But most of the stuff, it all happens in such a short window.
Well, and you only have so long to get it in before you're too late to do it. I think that's where the pressure really comes, is from that having to you really only have like a 2-3 week window to get some of the stuff. Like, this is the first year I think I've ever really paid attention to how many days things are until they
are ready to harvest.
Because Alex has her own calendar, and she's marking on her calendar when the things that we plant should be ready to harvest.
She's more organized than we are.
She is.
But on a smaller number of things.
She's wrote her carrots and her turnips and all that sort of stuff. She's wrote down on the calendar. And when you get into some of the stuff that's like 110 and 115 days, it's
You're
like
pushing it.
You've really got a small window to get it in.
Unless they're cold hardy.
Yeah.
Or frost hardy. But yeah, I will be honest. When I started gardening, I did grow some kale, but then we never really used it. But then in the last few years, it's become like a go-to green because I don't know.
Mostly because it does well all year. Well,
it does do well all year.
Like even in the summer, it's still growing and really nice compared to the lettuce. Always seems to struggle. Like you can get it in the spring, you can get it in the fall, but boy, it seems to be tough in the middle of the summertime.
And that's the other thing too. The kale is great because you can have a ton of it and feed it to other stuff.
Yes, we grow a huge patch of kale just for the rabbits. Kale and Swiss chard, they love it. But
we're gonna try because we were gonna eat it in a salad, but it was a little too strong. One of the cabbage leaves from the cabbage was going to seed.
It was a little bit. I think it'd be very nice chopped up and stir fried or something. But the cabbage leaf to put in a salad was not mine. Hey, John, how are you doing? We're very much enjoying the farm stuff and the collection of cows and everything. It's been great. We're kind of verging on a similar boat. It's addictive. Yes, busy. That's what we've kind of been chit-chatting about with gardens and yes, developing and getting. Well, you probably have it too. Fencing, things like that. It's just it adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, we're going to lettuce has always been kind of a nemesis for us, I guess you'd say, because we always start it really good at the beginning of the year, and then we just fall short on the staggering the plantings. And this is, I think, the first year we had a setback when we did the grow room because we got our first 2 batches going really well. Yeah. Then because we didn't have all the lights, we ran out of space, and we had other things that were competing for the space. So we kind of went.
And we just stopped planting.
We stopped planting, and then we started again. And I think we're going to do the same thing.
Well, and we planted some seeds right out in the soil, but I think we do need to grow some inside as well.
Well, I think we're going to start a batch of that, probably a little bit more kale, maybe even some broccoli, maybe kohlrabi because it's shorter, down in the grow room where it's going to stay cooler for the summer. And
you say that.
Ready. Well, I think it will because we won't have all the
That's true, yeah.
Because you won't have all the seedlings, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that as soon as the temperature changed outside, boy, did that grow room get hot.
I was going to say, going back to John's comment, I haven't been pinning people's comments yet, but I think if you have animals, that's a tough one because if you look, there's always something, and I don't know. We're kind of to the point we're not looking.
Oh, whatever! You're always on Kijiji. It's addictive because you kind of are always like, well, I'll just check because you never know. Or we're terrible for going under that. Well, we just want to see how much people are charging for X, and then you just go, oh, look what I happened to find.
That's how we ended up with a Jersey.
That's calf. Yeah. That's how we ended up with Daisy, and yes.
We always have that feeling of being behind, but I think this is the first year in a long time that we actually feel a bit ahead. A bit
on time.
On time. We've got what, like a third of the garden planted, maybe. We have to make another garden, but
yeah, we've got we already increased the garden from what we had last year, because last year was our first year with the garden here, and so we already made it bigger, and we've planted all of our raised beds almost, or probably about 60% planted, and then the tilled garden is probably about 30% planted if you don't count the garlic, maybe a little more actually if you count. Anyways,
there's still quite a bit left.
Basically, we still have a whack load of plants to put in, and we're now going, where else can we make a garden? Because I don't know where we're putting potatoes. We also got, what was the other thing that we got? We got amaranth and sorghum, things like that we wanted to plant and get going. And it's kind of one of those coming down to space. I mean, it was the same thing we talked about planting. We have red fife wheat that we'd been growing at our old place, and we still had some seeds, and we wanted to plant them somewhere to get them going again. But
there's still time.
Yeah. So.
And the nice part is some of that, if we don't get it done, you can still hold on to it. But
yeah.
Yeah, we were amazed with a couple of the lettuce. We actually put them outside. We did harden them off, because some of our original planting that we put in the basement, they stayed like perfect. So we figured that they would be good ones to save seed from. So most of them have now gone outside to be our sort of seed crop. And they're still growing really nice and compact. So they have been,
the ones we grew inside grew beautifully.
They've been like months without bolting, which is awesome.
The other thing that's really funny, it must be that our grow lights are a lot better than what we used to have.
Oh yeah.
Because all of our peppers are probably about maybe 6 inches tall and loaded with blossoms.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Most.
They've stayed
quite a bit. So anyways, we kind of think our lights may have been a little too powerful, but now that they're out in the greenhouse, they're really, really starting to go now. But
that's a good thing, though.
It is.
Worked well on the lettuce.
Well, that's like the lettuce. It just stayed really small and kept growing more and more leaves. And then as soon as we put it out, it's just gone whoosh. It's beautiful.
Into a nice head.
Yeah.
It hasn't bolted. It's just gone.
Yeah, nice. It's gone to a beautiful head. So now we want them to go to seed so that we can save seeds from them.
Mm-hmm. We know that feeling of you add things and.
How is the? You were starting. You
were starting a.
Not a C. Not a CSA, but or was it CSA?
Now I can't remember. It's one of those nights. We'll admit I'm tired. 1st of June and feeling tired because between gardening and real work, this is like my busy time.
Oh yeah. Well, you're doing long days with work.
That's good. We're getting close. We have a couple that we put out that I think within about maybe 2 weeks we'll have quite a bit of lettuce.
Oh yeah, well, and we have some that you could harvest now, but we want to get our seed now. We always let those first ones that look really nice go to seed so that it's done, and then that way we don't have to worry about saving seeds the rest of the year. We'll just get our seed now, and then it's done. So
yeah, I'm going to jump ahead to go back.
Yes,
it's a wholesale nursery, which is a good idea. But how's that going?
Yes, how is that going?
And we don't usually top the peppers.
No.
Usually for us, it's just to kind of put the peppers in and just let them go because we kind of have a pretty short window for it. We end up starting them so far ahead so that they.
Well, we started them in end of February.
Yeah, like they're the first thing. Yeah. The eggplants too, and they've all stayed really small this year. So hopefully with the heat, they'll grow like crazy. We haven't planted any peppers out yet.
Hey, Hitch Chick, but not late. No worries.
Yeah, we haven't planted any of the peppers out yet, but we've got them out in the greenhouse. So we'll probably
and they're covered in blossoms.
We'll probably plant something. Well, I think when we save our seeds, we'll be doing that from later flowers.
Yes,
but we'll probably plant at least one variety this weekend because I'm pretty sure they'll be fine now.
Yeah.
We've actually done a bunch of radishes this year, so we're testing radishes.
What do we got? 4 different kinds we're trying.
Yeah,
but so far there's not been very much success.
Well, in years past.
Yeah.
Right now.
This year they're all new. We just planted them, so we'll have to see how it goes. What did we plant? We planted the white icicle.
Cherry
the
Bell.
Cherry
We
Bell.
still have the Easter basket, which I know is kind of a mix. And
What was the other one?
I don't
You got
remember.
it from Miles.
Oh, it was 5, and there's 5 then because there's. Anyways, we have 5 different ones to try. My goal is to find the one radish instead of the one ring. Is to find the one radish and just grow one type of radish.
Yeah.
But for variety of purposes. But I definitely agree. We think about this all the time where we are, and I'm sure you're not a whole lot. I know you're further north, but not a whole lot different. But the weather bounces around so much. It's like if you're growing anything, it has to be like able to withstand everything.
Oh, yeah.
Or you have to find a way to protect it.
Well, this is it. I mean, we just totally lucked out that we didn't get the frost 2 nights ago because, like, so many people got
I think
surprised.
we got a little bit, but not
we
enough to...
went out at 10:30 at night and threw blankets over stuff because earlier in the day it said the low was 6 degrees, so we didn't worry about it. And then right before bed, I thought I'll just check, and then they were saying 2 degrees, and we went, oh, great. But
that's good that it's going well.
Yeah,
think, yeah. You'll definitely find that the second year. It's like everything, right? The first year you do it, it goes well, and the second year it usually goes
through the roof
really well. So
yeah.
That'll be good.
Well, and it's nice that the first year is a little more gradual because then you don't have it still bombards you, but it's not quite as bad as it could be. Proud of them to keep them growing, yeah.
Or our cabbage that's gone to flower is just massive.
We're going to have thousands and thousands.
That's a good thing, though. I'm wanting to try the seeds as sprouts for like microgreens if we get enough of them. But
yeah.
How do we get our peppers to grow peppers? To be honest with you, we went with peppers that want to grow peppers. So the Doe Hill and the Totally Sweet Italian frying peppers, they almost grow more like prolific. A hot pepper. Like they're very prolific. So
yeah.
I used to try growing, and I think you've done it too in the past, try growing like bell peppers and stuff. And you're lucky if you get 1 or 2, but these things just seem to.
Yeah, like the Totally Sweet Italian frying pepper that we grow. Each plant usually has 30 peppers on it. It's just like weighted down crazy red peppers.
Yeah, but like I say, they're sweet peppers, but they almost grow more like they are a hot pepper. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. Oh.
They're borderline weedy because they kind of slow to grow, and then all of a sudden they just kind of go boom, and they're.
Yes.
That being said, the peppers aren't huge, so like the Doe Hills are like.
They're little peppers. Really nice for stuffed peppers, though.
And the Tollies, they're bigger.
But, yeah, the Tollies are like a normal, kind of like a red pepper.
Never tried the French breakfast radishes before. Looked at them because they're a longer one, right? They're like an oblong shape, like not like the white icicles are quite long. We grew them 3 years now. This was the 3rd year, sorry, and we've totally neglected them, and they've been so spicy that it was ridiculous. But we're gonna try them this year.
Leaving judgment because everybody says to try them cooked. So I'm making judgment this year until I try the radishes cooked because I can't stand radishes.
Well, but we have had some cooked, and they're not as bad.
Yeah. So hopefully.
I'm obsessed with making it work because they're one of the brassicas that doesn't cross with the other brassicas. So.
Yes.
And the tops and stuff are great for the rabbits. So it's like if we can grow a bunch of them and they're quick and we can find a use for them and keep seeds, then hey, they're basically like a little weed anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. It should work.
Yeah, the white icicles are kind of like the Dakin, but not exactly the same. Yeah. I've never actually grown the proper Dakin radish, but I don't know if I've ever.
Is it Dakin or Dakin?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh well.
Yeah, 3 nights, but you guys would where you are. There was one morning it was 5 degrees and snowing.
Yeah.
Here, which is kind of interesting too. Not that it hit the ground; it was gone, but it was still snowing.
Yeah. Oh, the weather has just been absolutely ridiculous and making it so awkward to.
I have a funny feeling it's not over yet because if we don't get rain. That's going to make everything fun because there won't be hay and there won't be gardens growing.
That's our biggest concern with the livestock because we have to buy hay. Like everybody's cutting hay right now, so we are getting hay now and filling the barn so that it's sorted out because normally we wait till second cut hay, and I'm not doing that this year. because I don't know if there's going to be second cut
Well,
hay.
we'll get both. We also don't have the goats anymore. And the
That's
goats
true. They were the ones
really
that needed the second cut. So
everything else will eat good first cut.
Yeah, that's same as us.
Mhm.
We've got hot weather coming. And it's so funny that 2 nights ago it was frosting, and now
It's going to be
only in, well, I'd say only in Canada, but it happens other places too. But that's just
everywhere.
our, yeah, that's my motto is only in Canada can it change 40 degrees in a day.
Well, I definitely would say on the peppers, we've looked around quite a bit, and I like those ones. I've tried other things, and those are the Doe Hill and the Totally Sweet Italian. If for a sweet pepper,
Yeah, well, we've been growing them for
produce.
What? How many years now?
Quite a few. It's worth the headache of trying to figure out saving the seeds from them because, yeah, the Doe Hills aren't very common, so they're kind of hard to get. But we've never really tried outside of like the starting seedlings. We've never tried growing peppers inside, but we might this year. We'll see. We have the space.
Yeah, we'll see.
See, there you go.
Okay.
We'll have to try the
olive oil, salt, and pepper.
Hey, MB. Sorry, we're behind as per usual.
See, everybody says cook them, so I'm going to.
We're gonna cook them
because raw they go to the rabbits because I don't like them.
Ooh, fermented radishes and cabbage. That would probably be good because we love fermented turnips.
Ooh,
so that would be pretty awesome.
That would be interesting.
We used to have Oberhasli goats, and we really did like them. They were a bigger dairy breed, but when we switched properties, just for a variety of reasons,
We had space.
We had the space for the cows, and having the sheep and the goats didn't really work.
Yeah.
And the goats were way harder to fence, and or you had to bring the feed to them or buy food for them. So we kind of made the decision, and then we went with an even rarer kind of cow.
Yes.
And that's our story.
Yes. So hopefully by next year we'll have milk.
Yeah, we will. There'll be milk.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those things. The goats were great, and boy, we're missing the milk and the cheese now, to the point that I'm almost tempted to milk the sheep. I don't know if I could. But they're kind of wild, so I don't know.
I think you'd have a hard time, but you could do it. But yeah, we did kind of think about the Nigerian dwarfs, but
is that the one you were thinking?
They're the smaller ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're just gonna go with cows.
We'll just keep collecting cows.
The one thing.
Eventually get a bull.
After having an individual cow eats more than the goats, but after having a herd of dairy goats, the cows eat less for the two cows. So you've got more weight there. They're eating less than the goats do or did.
Yes, and they're going to produce way better meat.
Well,
I was not a fan of goat meat. I mean, I'll eat it, and we have a lot in the freezer, but it wasn't my favorite thing.
That's why the sheep won.
Yeah, that's why we decided to stay with sheep and not goats.
For anybody who doesn't necessarily like lamb, but never gets the opportunity to try Icelandic
lamb. Oh my gosh, it is amazing. Totally I will not eat lamb from the grocery store. I don't like it, but Icelandic lamb for me tastes like butter. It's just it doesn't taste like butter, but that I love. Like I could not be without butter, and now I could not be without lamb.
Oh boy, they're up to 6 already.
Wow, you're up to 6. Well, but yeah, you've got some you're raising out for meat, right?
The younger ones.
I think so. Yeah.
You're enjoying your calf.
Oh yes.
Do a video on the training of the.
Yes, Daisy is becoming quite the. She goes to get the mail with me, and we have one bottle fed lamb, and so I put Daisy's halter on, and we go down to the back pasture to go feed the lamb, and eventually she'll probably go for staying with the sheep on the grass, but she's a little young for that now because she's only 5 weeks now, 6 coming up to 6 weeks.
We're coming up to 5. I don't know. Everything's starting to become a blur.
Yes, 3 for meat. Well, we kind of we talked. when we picked up Daisy, the guy that we got him from actually offered us a bull calf for $30. Wasn't it $30 or $20 or something?
Like that.
And we just felt so on the spot. We couldn't make up the decision right there. And we probably should have taken it just to have the meat, and Daisy would have had company. But we didn't. Oh, well. We have one soul.
Oh, there you go, Chris's Clever Claff. Congratulations. That was fun, by the way,
yes,
guys. We will admit that we were a little tired that night.
Somebody's game may not have been on.
Maybe not as much as next time.
Yes, yes. But the drawing ones were quite fun. I kind of wished I was on like an iPad or something instead of using the mouse. I would have liked to have been able to touch the screen. So now that I know that there might be drawing involved, I would potentially do on my other thing.
I have one.
But what else we got here? But yeah, definitely was very, very fun to do it. You guys are putting so much work into that, the Garden Gurus. It's great.
Oh, there's Daisy as well. There you go. That's a pretty standard Jersey name.
It is. Well, Daisy was just, because right now we have Danny and Dorothy, so it made sense to stick with D's for the cows. Mm-hmm. So Daisy it was. I said if we get a bull, we'll name it Donald. Daisy and Donald.
Which would technically be ducks, but yeah.
Guys up on panel got first place.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. We were going to do it, but I was too tired. I was just like, I'm
done. It was one of those. It's like we always get caught off guard when people want you to come up, and it's like, oh,
we're always slow.
We're like sitting in not appropriate clothing, or
we're just tired,
or no lighting, or it's the horrible. We're using the bad computer. Yeah,
that's true. Actually,
there's always something. We have a gazillion excuses.
Hmm. The rolling the dice for the one for the 100 points.
Oh yeah. That was pretty good though. The dice was not working in our favor. We did not.
We won?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. Did we? No.
No.
If we did, then that's
I saw the email you sent our score, but we won on the first challenge thing.
Which one? No.
No. On the first game that he did, it was not a scavenger hunt.
It was the. Did we? Oh, I don't know. I can't keep track of anything anymore.
Yeah, I don't remember. Thanks for popping in, John. Definitely. Good to hear from you. See, you're
scheme of,
kind of a neighbor.
Yeah, you're not that far from us, really,
mm-hmm.
relatively speaking.
Yeah, but
by internet standards.
Hopefully, the rest of the week treats you well and you get lots done.
Mm-hmm. It is that time.
We all have that huge list that we got to tackle. We're the nemesis.
I don't know.
I'm so confused. What did we win?
We've become a nemesis over a matter of a couple minutes.
You too, John. Have a good night. Yeah, we're nemesises now. Nemesis? Is that the right way to say it? Nemesis. I
don't know if it works that way in plural. Or are we just one entity? We're an entity. Hickory Croft Farm, it's an entity.
Okay, sure, we'll go with that.
Oh, they're going to email us. Well, that's cool if we did win.
I'm having trouble. I'm blaming it on all the pollen.
Yeah. Or actually, you should mention what you made today. Speaking of pollen, had nothing to do with pollen, but
I made spruce tip jelly for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a whole list of why you should use spruce tips. They're good for you. I couldn't tell you them right now. I'm sure they're high in vitamin C and I think
that is one of the things.
Antioxidants, who knows, all these wonderful things. But anyways, everybody always talks about spruce tip jelly. And I've been saying I want to make it because we have an amazing row of Norway spruce trees. And they've got these beautiful tips all hanging off them. And so I sent the kids out to pick a bunch of them, and I made the jelly today, and it was yummy. I don't know if anybody else has ever tried it.
It is good, and it's I don't know how to describe it. If anybody hasn't tried it, I don't know how to describe the flavor. It doesn't really taste like doesn't taste like spruce, but
you can it has a hint of spruce.
Mhm.
Like if you actually bite in, no, I shouldn't say spruce, but
the tips.
if you eat the tips right off the tree, it does have the same
Mhm.
flavor. It's a bit citrusy.
Yeah, there's like a citrus flavor to it.
Yeah.
They're actually quite good. Actually, it's funny because Alex will like eat a ton of them. I don't know if it's
Good for
to
her,
eat
but
that
she
many,
just goes
but,
along and eats spruce tips.
Yeah, but they're not bad. This year, I will say though, and I think it's because it's so dry. The tips they've come out, but they're not as like last year. They were really quite long, and this year they're a lot shorter. So I think the trees are between last year's drought and the spring's sort of semi-drought.
Wow.
Nobody's calling it that, but I mean to go pretty much the whole month of May with no rain, it's pretty
bad,
pretty crazy. We'll see. Maybe June.
Well,
will be wet.
we were looking because we're supposed to have 5 to 10 millimeters of rain on Thursday,
and we're super excited for that.
And I'm not holding my breath. Hey, Creekside Maples.
Hello.
I'm not
Thanks
holding my breath that we actually get that rain because there's been numerous times that they say we're going to get it.
Where we live, basically, without getting into too much detail, the storms usually split and either go south of us towards New York State or north of us towards Ottawa.
Yeah.
So you need a pretty good one to actually get us. It's just to do with the landforms. It's like a little.
Well, we always see it out over the St. Lawrence. You see it out over the water. You see the storm, and then you get like, oh, it's going to come our way. It's going to come our way, and it always misses us. Does, but that's usually. Okay.
Unless they're big ones.
Yeah, but we do need it bad.
We haven't had any thunderstorms at all. Like because we've had some warm days and nothing's developed. So,
which is probably good because it's so dry. If you had lightning hit in places, it's yeah. Oh, you got a good storm. Awesome. We need. I would even take a storm at this point. A nice steady drizzle would be more appreciated, but even a storm. Like
that's one thing. The steady drizzle kind of rain seems to be getting to be
few and far between.
It either comes like
surges of.
Well, in the last couple of years, because with my work in that, erosion and sediment control is something you could think about. And like the number of times where you've gotten like 40 millimeters of rain in like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It happens relatively often now. It's very flashy.
Yeah, flash flood type situations,
which isn't really great because it doesn't soak in, and then you don't. The plants don't really benefit from it. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. Everything has to be like super plant
hardy. Hardy has to be able to handle
everything.
Wet and drought and
cold and heat and you name it.
It's definitely not
the same as it used to be.
No, even I've been gardening for about 14 years. And even in that 14 years, there's been some crazy changes.
Hello guys, thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Like just crazy changes, but like a train going by. Oh.
Yeah, that's crazy when it rains like that.
Well,
it rained out. It's the cat.
It's not raining.
No, it's not that. It's the cat's drinking water. We're talking about rain.
That's wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Well,
we were down.
It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain.
Yeah, do a rain dance. We were down by the pond. What was that? A couple days ago, and we were just looking at it, and it is 6 feet lower than normal. 5 feet at least. 5 feet lower.
Yeah, than what it usually is. It's in the bottom of a sand burrow pit, so everything kind of filters in and then
sits in there.
Pond, but
there's just been nothing to filter in there this year. Yeah, it was dry for the pond over the winter time, and then it just hasn't. We haven't gotten anything to rejuvenate it.
It came up a bit after the melt, but not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah.
So we're definitely not dipping out of it for this year, just to be on the safe side.
Not very much.
But I would have said it's at end of July levels.
Mm-hmm.
It's low. Mm-hmm. So hopefully something comes.
But on that note, what have we got planted already? We've planted some of our tomatoes. We still have a lot left.
Yes.
We've planted.
The big batches of tomatoes are still to be planted.
Yeah, or one of the big batches we did, but
Yeah.
the Scotias still have to go in.
And the San Marzanos, because I think we've got 35 of them, 38 of them.
Something like that. We have a lot of tomatoes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we did. We had roughly 110 peppers and 130 tomatoes of varying kinds. So we've got a lot of them to plant. But otherwise, we've done pretty good at getting, other than the potatoes and the sweet potatoes, most stuff's getting in.
Well, the potatoes usually we hold off until the full moon in June, which I don't even actually know when that is. I'll have to look that up.
The full moon in June? I don't know.
That's kind of a, say, old school recommendation I've heard about that helps with the Colorado potato beetles. But as long as we've done it, it's worked. We don't even have them, or we never did the old place.
No, we've never had them attack anything. So the only thing we ever have to deal with is those darned cabbage moths,
cabbage whites. This year they haven't been too bad, but
yet it's been super dry, and we haven't had much planted out there for them. So
there's the huge,
true.
But tomatoes are one of those. Definitely a main crop for us. I think this is the thing we talk about all this stuff all the time, but we have a bunch of varieties, and this year we're growing more varieties kind of like kitchen chick, more than what we normally do, because there's a couple we want to try. And we
got some through seed exchanges and stuff this year
that we really like the sound of, and so we kind of want to give them a shot and see how they do.
Yeah.
But I think
because what did I say when we counted up?
It was 11 varieties.
11 different varieties. Normally we only grow 4 varieties.
Yeah, just keep it simple. So I think we're probably going to, after this year, take it back again and probably drop a few of them.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We're the same way, Creekside. We do our own ketchup, barbecue sauce, pasta sauce, and just canned tomatoes and that sort of thing. This year, and I'm hoping I don't regret it, we did not grow any Romas. I switched to trying the San Marzano. I got some last year from a friend and absolutely loved them. They made beautiful salsa. It was great. So I am trying them this year instead. So I've planted 38 San Marzano tomatoes. So fingers crossed. Because normally I do about 28 Romas. So
I think they'll do pretty well.
I think
that was a what do you call it? Educated gamble.
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah. Well, I think we will.
And you still have the Scotias, which are a main type one too.
Yeah.
So.
Scotias are amazing for juice eating, and I still use them when I make sauces and stuff too. I'm
looking forward to the subarctic plenties as well, because I think they'll be a good one.
Yes, we got those from one of our viewers actually this spring, and we were very excited for them because they're another Canadian tomato.
Yeah, which is cool. We kind of like, for those who are in here who are from Canada, we kind of like collecting Canadian things.
Yes.
Not that we collect just Canadian varieties and breeds, but I don't know, it's kind of cool. They're adapted for it. But we do grow cherry tomato. We grow gray sweet cherry tomato, which is really, amazing. Really good. We've grown different ones in the past. And
what was the one we used to do? We did it forever. Chadwick cherry. And we always kept growing it because it grew really, really well, but it wasn't fantastic, and nobody ever, it wasn't one of those ones you just couldn't walk by the vine without eating one. And the gray sweet cherry, you could just stand there and keep piling them in your face. The kids do it. They're very, very sweet, and they're really, really nice because they're the size of like a marble. They're small, like pop in your mouth. Yeah. Great little bit. It's not blueberry, but they're very small tomato, and we absolutely love them. Last year was the first year we grew them. We saved tons of seeds, and we grew. This year we did because last year we only grew 2 plants.
That's all that came up from the seed bag.
Yeah, from the seeds that we got from the store or the.
I think we only have 6. We limited it because we knew how productive they were.
Yeah, and I want to plant some later so that I have some in the greenhouse later.
Try one. Bringing one in or growing in the greenhouse too.
Yeah.
And then we do have a plum tomato that we're trying too. It's kind of
our single seed challenge. So the pear-shaped yellow plum.
Pear-shaped. So that'll be kind of fun. Yeah. I think that's the thing with us with the tomatoes.
And we're growing blue ones this year, which we've never done that before either. So
we'll try them. We're trying to find ones that are different enough to warrant having a bunch of them. But
Um,
well, hopefully your stunted ones do well. I mean, I would still plant. Well, I guess it depends how stunted they are, but I would still plant them out in
sometimes
seeds.
it's surprising once they get outside how much
they
better they
grow.
do. I mean, that's the one thing we're finding with some of our stuff. Moving it to the greenhouse from the grow room, it's just gone whoosh, which is wonderful.
The Scotias are
they're our go-to. They
yeah.
are the one tomato. If I had to choose just one tomato in my little packet on Survivor Island or whatever, it would be Scotia tomatoes. They're so versatile. They're amazing. They always grow amazing. I cannot say enough good about Scotia tomato. If I could, I would populate the whole world with Scotia tomato seeds.
Well, we sent a bunch around.
I know,
Canada.
we sent a whole bunch all over Canada, but
yeah.
And I think everybody's did well too.
I think so.
For the most part. So
we have to follow up with some of that. But
what's a Rutger? Oh, that must be a type of tomato?
Yes, I think so.
Ah, okay.
I had to think about that for a second.
Gotcha.
Well, that's cool.
We've not tried any of those. We'll have to watch and see how yours do.
I have heard of the Rutgers before now that you mention it, but I've never heard of the Bush Goliath and Parks Whopper. I'm guessing those are big tomatoes.
Yeah, they sound like they're going to be like tomatoes. The big 1.5, 2 pound slicers kind of thing. Those are cool. I just have a hard time because I don't know how to use them. I know that they look so neat and whatever, but I only need so many slicer tomatoes, and then I end up finding I don't.
One that we grew this year, the pineapple.
Yes,
but that's a slicer. They're quite big, but they tasted really amazing,
and they're pretty.
Yeah, they're just different, right?
Yeah, we kind of keep playing around with different things because maybe one day we'll do produce selling. We don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things. We're trying different stuff to see. You want something that keeps well, grows well. There's so many like criteria, and we get into that sort of tunnel vision on, well, this is what we like. This is what's worked for us. So we're not trying anything new. And
that's me.
Yeah. So this year we're deciding we're trying some different ones, and we'll see how they do.
Yeah. Well, that's the nicest part about tomatoes, right? You can try different varieties and not worry too much about if you want to keep seeds. You just have to keep them 3 meters apart.
Yeah. 3 meters apart, and then you don't have to worry about them crossing. But yeah, the San Marzanos were, if you haven't used them before, I had never used them before. When you slice them like down the center, they only have a little tiny hole at the top that's seeds, and then the rest of it is all meat. Like,
or at least the ones that
like just, I mean, and that's what I've heard across the board from people. So I got seeds.
They're bigger than the Romas.
Well, bigger than the Romas I had.
Yeah.
Some Romas actually people have quite big. Like, look at those striped Romas that we had. They're huge, right?
And striped Romas are almost like they're similar to the San Marzano. They don't taste the same.
Yeah. But
tomatoes are fascinating for that.
Well, anyways, it'll be fun to try them. I kept my Roma seeds from last year so that I still had them in case I wanted to go back to that. But it was kind of one of those, as a main crop, I usually did the Romas and the Scotias. So this year I did the Scotias and the San Marzano. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Probably do a video thing on it at some point, I'm sure.
I'll have to, if you've got a video on that miracle medicine for the tomatoes, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
But, well, I don't really do anything special for tomatoes. We're probably bad. We kind of subscribe a little bit to the survival of the fittest.
Yeah, we are. We're pretty harsh on our plants and stuff here. It is kind of like, we were looking at the dirt that they're going in, and I'm like, maybe we better start doing a bit more to amend that, because
we have been.
Well, we put, we have tons of manure and stuff, but I think because of so many years of the garden here, the ground here not getting it,
not being used,
it's just kind of deteriorated. So, and you don't know what was grown there or what was put places before. So
I don't think it was a garden.
Might not
for a few years, but
it's all mint. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's fine too. For the tomatoes, short answer is we do plant them in different locations, but the tomatoes don't have to be super far apart. pending. There is a few varieties that are they call them potato leaf varieties that have more open flowers, but
for the most part,
we did do a video on the theory behind the tomato stuff. But usually, you just have to be 3 meters, which is what, like
10 to 12 feet, basically.
Yeah.
We kind of put all of our tomatoes 12 feet apart.
And if you clump the varieties together, that also helps a bit too. Peppers have to be further. That being said, you're right. You can't trust it 100% if you don't meet the maximum distance, which I can't remember off the top of my head because it's just
the peppers is 580 feet
or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty far, but they've got a nice complete flower that's attractive. But you can get reasonable results to a degree if you still space them out as much as you can and clump them, but it's not guaranteed. That's the difference. So the only other way is to actually bag them or physically isolate them. But we will have to check that video out. Yeah,
I'm curious now. We really have to. It's just been so crazy. We really have to get back and watch. We try and like every night get somebody that we can go and watch a video. It just by the time we rushed in tonight and had dinner quickly, and we caught just the end of Creekside's live as we ate our dinner before our live. But
it is a case of doing too much in the garden.
Yeah, we usually are 9:30 before we come in to make dinner and then you want to edit a video and so it's kind of a case of squeezing in a couple videos if we can. And we apologize to anybody that we, hey Sean, Alaska, anybody that we might miss. It's not that we don't care. It's just like you're going through and it's like a list of 200 people you're subscribed to and you're like, okay, this one's today and this one's tomorrow, so that you can at least watch a little bit.
Once June is over, it'll get better.
Well, yeah, because then you're waiting for everything and then it's canning season.
It's the mad rush. Yeah, but canning is still spaced out. We do grow blueberries. We kind of have a funny history with growing blueberries because we moved in fall of 2019 to the current property, and that spring we had planted blueberries. Again, we do have videos, but we planted blueberries and we were like, well, we don't want to leave our patch because we planted relatively speaking, quite a few.
There was 30.
Yeah, so we dug them all up. They were all high bush varieties, and then we brought them here, and then we didn't get them planted until last fall, and then we still don't have it all planted. So
we planted some last fall, but they spent a whole winter and summer in the totes, and there's still some in the totes now, and we're like a year and a half in, but
they're doing really well in the totes,
and they produce berries just sitting in the totes. But we managed. We've got 6 more to plant, right? I think 6 more high bush ones.
I think that's all we have. And we're all caught up. But which is awesome.
they did produce fruit last year.
That's on the to-do list possibly for this weekend.
And I think this year there's tons of blossoms on them, so I think they'll be producing pretty decently this year.
That's the plan, anyways.
We've got them all in raised beds, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we had to amend the soil a bit to make them happy. And so far, so good. So we'll see how that goes.
No worries at all about. It's never late. We're just chit chatting away. So
the 1/4 acre, you'd still be able to do the tomatoes. Basically, the easiest vegetables to keep separate if you're going to grow multiple kinds in a small space would be tomatoes, lettuce, beans. I think are the 3 easiest. Peas are not too far behind.
Yeah. Our whole, just like putting it into perspective, our whole garden space is only just over 1/8 of an acre.
So far.
So, yes, we do need to develop some more for the potatoes, but we do, and we have to put you have to bag the peppers, or you have to plant peppers. We do
sometimes move some things further away to their own little isolated spot, though.
Yeah, but we've got a few little kind of gardens by the house, which I'm not counting, but our main vegetable garden that we grow all our lettuces and kales and everything else in is a little over 1/8 of an acre.
You can definitely do it, and then it depends. There's other things that you can do because it's a lot likely that anybody near you is probably doing it, like broccoli and stuff. The cabbage family, you can do them, but you got to limit what you have if you're going to save the seeds and keep them pure. But it's.
Hey, Crucy. Sorry, did you see that? 24th? Oh, my goodness. Now I know you're a zone or 2 colder than us.
More than a zone or 2.
Well, she's zone 3.
Yeah, because we're 5.
Are we 5? We're 5B or something. I don't know.
We're the warmer 5.
But still, it's, yeah. I don't know. We don't put the blankets and covers away. They're still sitting out there so that if we have to go and quickly throw them on, we can. Unfortunately, some stuff will be sacrificed because there was getting to be too much out there now to actually cover it.
We actually, we put the red Solo cups over some of our little tomatoes because we couldn't cover the whole.
Yeah, we'd actually just planted them all out of the red Solo cups, and then we went and got the Solo cups and stuck them all back on
top
them
of them
the night it was supposed to be thingy. But
oh, that's awesome that they're covered in blossoms. Ours aren't covered, but I think next year they're looking really good out there. Everything we planted this spring and last fall.
Yeah,
we have a couple of low bush that we got later and put in amongst some of them. And we lost one of them.
Yeah, one.
So out of all the blueberries that the low bush we bought later, but of the 32 or whatever it was blueberries that we brought with us,
we've only lost one.
Yeah, so that's not bad. They're pretty hardy.
We lost more of the Saskatoons than we did of the.
Well, yeah,
but they didn't really get looked after very well. We'll have to check out the video for that.
Yeah, I think Chris's Cry for Clever.
Yeah, had it.
Put it up here. The Homestead Cure for Sick Tomatoes video.
Yeah, gonna have to look at that.
I want to add that to the.
Put it in the book.
I'll let you. Your writing is better than mine. The almighty book, where we keep track of stuff.
All the things that we need to go back and look at after our lives.
Okay, yeah. So she's 2B.
Yeah, so she's quite a bit.
Quite a bit. You live in a nice area. Like, I don't know exactly, but I know the general area. I've been up there a few times for work and whatnot. There was definitely a potential thought of moving north, but we didn't.
Yeah.
The name of... We have several, and we haven't gone through everything yet. So we've got a Saving Seeds 101. We have a playlist. It's called Saving Seeds. And most of the videos in that are for the Seed Saving 101 videos that we've been doing, part of the Garden Gurus stuff. I think there's one about lettuce that we did like way at the beginning, which is actually probably pretty good because it's kind of all condensed into the one video. And there might be one about beans, but I don't think it's I can't remember how comprehensive it is. But anyways, we've done tomatoes, carrots, and we did parsnips, but it's short. Let me see if I like an intro to brassicas. What was the other one I did? There's another one, isn't there? I don't remember. But we're kind of slowly adding to it when we get time. We're going to do one on, I think we're going to do one on beans. And it kind of like what we did with the brassicas. We didn't get into like super specifics. It was a little higher level because a lot of the principles were the same. It was more just don't have multiple varieties of the same species go to seed at the same time. And the beans is going to be kind of similar, but we're going to go into some of the other beans that people don't think about growing sometimes. So, and some of those beans are new to us too. It's just some of them we have grown, some of them we haven't. But we've managed to collect a bunch of the sort of non-conventional North American beans that are in different species. I'm probably sounding a little crazy right now, but yeah, the Solo Cup thing worked really well. I mean, it wasn't windy, which was the one nice part. And I mean, like I say, the plants were only like yay big out of the ground. So I think we broke a couple of leaves, but all in all, they did pretty well.
Yeah. How come I can't get trying to get this?
Oh, nice. You've got quite the squash patch going. We planted 2 outside that we had started from earlier. And then I went, just because of the way the weather's been, and I don't know exactly where we want to put it, we started a bunch of seeds in pots, like a lot of seeds. We did, I call them the big blue squash. I can't remember. I did look them up. but I can't remember the name. They're a Cuba Maxima type. So we started a bunch of them. Canada crooked neck squash or crookneck. Can't remember how that. Yeah, it's like a butternut. And then what's the other one? I did the Kershaw green stripy squash or striped squash, which is the fourth kind of squash. So we've got stuff started, but it's not in the garden yet. They're all in the greenhouse.
Sorry, I might have made it skip ahead on you. You were up further.
Don't use the blender to mix it up. That's like when we mix stuff up for the worms.
Oh gosh.
We take some of the kitchen stuff like the eggshells and that, and we blend them up because the worms break it down quicker. In our indoor worm bins. If we're outside, we don't bother.
No.
Just we find it speeds up the indoor stuff a bit.
Yeah, they do the job a lot quicker.
It's I don't know. I think it's good information.
I was looking to see. Is it just under the Eastern Ontario Gardeners, or did you do seed saving as well?
Saving seeds,
I did the Eastern Ontario Gardener one. I was trying to be quick.
Because they're all in the saving seed one too. There it is.
Oh, well, okay. So there's more in that one than the other one. All right, then. I gave the wrong one.
Yeah, that's the one thing. If you're homesteading and YouTubing, it's even worse. And if you're homesteading, YouTubing, and have a full-time job, it's even worse. Is time. So definitely, I think everybody understands that.
Oh yeah.
Especially, I definitely think, and actually, Creekside Maples were talking about this too. I think in the YouTube homesteading community, everybody gets it. Like,
oh yeah,
we're all doing the same stuff. So we're not all doing it exactly the same, but like-minded. And if you're in North America,
have a good night, Amy.
You're at that most busy time of year right now. I shouldn't say North America, but the northern part of the U.S. and southern part of Canada. Actually, all of Canada. You're at the busiest time for half of this stuff.
Yeah, you've got to get going on planting and all that sort of stuff. It's like we talked about at the beginning there. It's a short window to get everything all done and in time to.
We've done some experiments. There's certain things that we spread or soak ahead of time, like you just did the Swiss chard.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that with our sugar beets, and we've got Detroit red beets and Mammoth red mangles. They definitely do really well with the soaking. We've done the wheat that way.
The kids did their beans for school.
In soaking.
And usually the bag method, the wet the paper towel in the baggie.
And then you did, we can't take credit for it, but you did the gel.
Oh, the gel. I don't know if anybody has watched Quebec Homestead. She did her carrots in a gel.
A cornstarch gel.
Cornstarch gel. Anyway, so we did this weekend. We planted the carrots mixed with radishes with the gel. And we did soak the carrots.
We'll see how
for
it goes.
The 2 days before.
But so far, it's looking promising.
Yeah.
They're not up yet.
But anyways, oh my gosh, it was so wonderful to plant them that way. Like, it was perfectly spaced out about every inch. It was great. So
and it keeps a bit of moisture.
Yeah. So hopefully it works. And we also planted parsley the same way because we do not have any luck with parsley.
We find it often dry.
This is our third effort this year of starting parsley seeds. So
this is the first year we're going to start the corn ahead of time because we have a love-hate relationship with corn. But we have some seeds, so we're like,
we got them in the seed exchange, so we figure we'll plant them again because we kind of decided not to do corn at all
for a bunch of reasons. Every time we plant it
always becomes animal feed.
It never really amounts to much.
No,
for us.
That's probably because we try and grow heritage corn and things like that rather than hybrids.
And then we can't actually keep seeds from them.
Yeah, because our neighbor grows corn and then it doesn't work anyway. So, yes. Anyways, that's our pitiful wine rant.
The dilemmas of corn. That's the one thing. If you're going to save seeds, you really need quite separation distance.
But this is the first year because we have the greenhouse. We're actually starting because you're starting your squash ahead of time. Which normally we just plant directly in the hills. I probably will still plant direct as well, but we're just trying it to see if it does do any better.
We're not going to let it get too big.
No. And the corn, The corn you're starting ahead of time?
Sunflowers.
Yeah, well,
Which
you
I
usually do the sunflowers ahead of time anyway.
But I think we're better timed this year for that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do it kind of as a bit of a succession where we take like the sunflowers, we'll get them started and up, and then when we take those starts out, where we plant them, we'll probably do like another row in front of them of just direct planted and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. The
I think it would. To be honest with you, I think anything that's small and likes that moisture, like lettuce, it would probably work amazing. We were even thinking you could do it. You could probably do it with turnips. The only downside to the turnips, the seed would do well, but your spacing would be weird.
Yeah,
right? Because
the thing we did, because we made 3 cups of the gel, and then we put basically 1 cup for each package of carrots is what we did, because I had 3 packages of carrots of these purple hybrid things that we bought by mistake.
We're going to eat them.
So we're going to eat them. But anyways, it worked out perfectly mixed with 1 package of radish seeds. It worked out pretty perfect to do about every inch a seed was coming out of the tube. Mm-hmm. But the turnips, you'd have to have so much gel or things like the lettuce would probably still work, but you'd still probably have to thin because I find
lettuce, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Right? I find that the lettuce, I tend to keep mine 4 or 5 inches apart to get decent.
Well, and we often do like start them and then take them outside as started plants and separate them because they usually do pretty well.
Yeah.
But if you were going to direct seed it, I think that would probably be the best way to do it, because we do find when we do direct seed lettuce, we kind of get patchy. Even if you water it, you still kind of get patchy germination. So I imagine the parsley will be the big experiment, because that's another one. If we direct seed it, we always get
it never works
patchy coming up. So we'll see.
It'll be interesting to see how well it works. It's a little experiment. We saw her video and we're like, that's brilliant. Let's try it.
And what else could we use?
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, Alex actually planted the carrots. That video comes out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. She planted the carrots using Quebec Homestead's method. So she loved that video. Carrots are her favorite vegetable. So
that's her thing.
Yeah, her thing. She was the one who wanted to grow carrots this year. So we said, go for it.
Well, we're going to keep growing our dragon carrots. Speaking of carrots, our dragon carrot seed experiment is... You
should do an update because they're doing really good.
Yeah, but everybody who's in here can get the little, the not preview, but the update before the real update comes out.
Yeah.
They haven't gone to flower just yet, but they're on the brink. They've got the flower head, and I actually noticed on the one of the tallest ones, it's just starting to open, and I imagine probably by the weekend.
Yeah,
probably by the weekend there'll be a flower head, like an actual open flower head. So the cool part with that is the experiment has worked really well.
Yeah, you're well ahead of the Queen Anne's.
Yes, well ahead. So we can replicate that on a little bigger scale if we need to.
Thanks for coming in, Creekside.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I know you guys are later than us too, so we really appreciate that.
Because it's 11 there, right?
Yeah. So to be honest, we're probably going to keep this short tonight as well, because Chris has to be up at 5 tomorrow morning. So
yeah, I have to go to work early.
Yeah, he's got site
get going.
Yeah, site stuff. So we probably won't keep this going too terribly much longer. But we do like to get to chit chat with everybody. Mm-hmm. But it's been good fun. Hey.
Oh, as per usual. I'm talking about a little bit of everything, because that's what happens. There's always a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
It's actually, I'm going to do a farm pondering or something on this, but I think, again, a little preview for people who are in here.
Yeah, okay. We're giving previews.
I think that's, if you're homesteading, that's a big thing to think about, is kind of not having all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. And I don't know. Mm-hmm. Kind of leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
We've tried the
mixing it with sand.
The sand before too, and it's actually
because it just dilutes it and makes it like they come off your fingers a little bit better. So I'm very curious, because I don't know if you've watched, but in Quebec Homestead's video on it, she does a couple rows with the sand method and a couple rows with the gel method. And the one thing that she did say was the gel ones came up a lot faster.
One thing, though, I will say is, because I like your point that your dad's been doing it for ever. It kind of goes back to what you were saying about experimenting's fun, but eventually you get to the point where it's like, if it's working well, you don't really need to experiment anymore, right? So,
because it's not broke.
Yeah, if it's working great for you, then that's fantastic. That's, I guess, what you want in the end. But yeah, I don't know.
I think it's
I think there's a lot of good points in that little paragraph.
Yeah,
but
and we all need to learn, because the old ways were done for a very long time.
Yeah, and it worked very well.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, there's like a break where a lot of that kind of got lost. But
hose, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got hoses running in multiple directions too.
Oh, yes. And we need to figure out getting a hose back to the pasture, which is going to be fun. But yes, we feel your pain on the running the hoses everywhere. We're lucky because we have one tap up by the house and then one tap down by the barn. So at least we can use the house one to run hoses to do the raspberries and things like that at this end. And then we have the hose that runs from the barn. One goes out to the animals. It's funny because it's our hydrant and it's got all these splitters on it, because we have a hose that goes to the cows and a hose that goes to the barn and a hose that goes to the garden, and all off of the hydrant. So it's got, we screwed one splitter into the hydrant that goes into two, and then into that we screwed two more splitters.
It's working.
It's working. It's just really confusing when you're figuring out which one needs to be turned on.
Eventually we'll have another one.
Yes. Oh.
How are your gardens doing? I know the last time, I guess we weren't talking, but though we sort of chatted, was you hadn't really got too much on the go, but sounded like your chickens were doing well, though. I forget, what are we up to for chicks now? Test your memory.
I think 36. Does that sound right?
Sounds about right. And we've got 4 more hens sitting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what we end up with. We're hoping to let one more group.
They're collecting their eggs, but they've got like 20-some eggs and nobody's sat yet.
I think we'll have to. Hello, honey badgers.
Hey, how are you?
We'll have to take some from them.
Oh yeah, we're going to have to, because they're not sitting. They're being stubborn. Although 2 already did go from that group, didn't they? Or 1 did. I'm not sure. Anyways, but they're some of them are doing a great job sitting, and then others are taking their sweet time.
That's what happens.
Yes, but that's okay.
55's that's 55 chicks or 55 adult chickens, or both. I assume it's probably chicks.
Yeah, he's probably being chicks. That's pretty good, 55.
Yeah.
Well, we know our 2 hens actually in the coop, they went broody in the same box on about 30 eggs. They got them split into 2 nests, though, and they're sharing it. So
I'm interested to see what happens.
It's an experiment. We removed everybody else and we've left them in the coop.
I've had it go both ways in the past. I've had hens who sit on the same day. Their siblings, their everything, and then the hatch happens and just everything explodes and chicks get killed because they're fighting over them. And I've also had hens that sit on the same day and do amazing together. So, hello, Voon. So hey, I'm curious to see on these 2 hens who are sitting together. The difference here, though, is they are actually physically in the same box. So they must be.
Oh, he says that's all together. Chicks and chickens.
Okay, so that's a for spring. That's quite a bring down. So I don't know, what do we have? We've got 30 chickens, don't we? Plus so we've got 60 some and more on the way.
Yeah, we'll probably be close to 100 chickens this year before, and then obviously butcher and bring it down to the yeah. So, but ours won't be butchered now until October. Probably.
At the earliest, I think. Some
But
of
we
them,
always do it that way because it's nice to have it cold to do the job. So
you don't have to do it as quickly.
yeah. No worries at all. We know that feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lot of chickens. It is. It's a lot of chickens.
Yeah, but it's kind of one of those things. We figure, what, if we can produce, it'd be nice to produce 60 chicks a year. And then
well,
by the
ideally
time
we put 40 in the freezer. So, and then we usually sell some.
a few.
And we replenish some of our breeding flock, our layer flock.
So it's kind of one of those things. It sounds like a lot, but it is when you keep it going, it's not actually a very big population.
It just it goes up and then you bring it back down. We usually go down to about 28 birds for the winter. Always. Usually.
Yeah, 28 to basically no more than 35.
Yeah.
Sometimes the rooster doesn't really count.
We
do keep multiples of them. Well, he does, but he doesn't need as much as
Yeah.
the hens do when they're laying. But
it's nice because then we've got, we get, well, okay, not right now because 11 of our hens are sitting, so we've lost their egg production, and we're obviously letting some of them collect eggs, but for the most part, we get a dozen eggs to 2 dozen eggs a day.
How many dozen eggs do we have in the fridge?
Oh, we're not going to even go there. There's like 18 dozen eggs in the fridge.
Yeah.
But that's good because
they keep though.
Oh, they keep for ages, and we eat 6 eggs a day. So
well, the funny part of it is this time of year we're actually eating a lot of eggs, but then it's also, as we've been tracking stuff, you're not really we're not producing much else right now, right? Because everything is kind of in that you're getting it going. And yeah, there's some greens, like we've been eating kale and we've had some lettuce and chives and some stuff that we foraged, but the bulk of what you're producing isn't there yet. So the eggs are kind of nice to have in the spring. Which I suppose in the old days,
that's what you ate.
You would have eaten it while you had it.
Yeah.
And then when you didn't have it in the winter, it didn't matter because you were eating something different.
Oh yeah, but, it's nice. Who
doesn't love eggs?
Or French toast.
Yeah, there's all sorts of other things you can do with them too.
Yeah, we do. Egg fried rice. There's some days where we go through like 18 eggs a day because we'll eat something for breakfast that you have eggs, and then you do some baking, and then you do egg fried rice or something silly for dinner, and then it's like, holy cow, we went through eggs.
Our thing, we kind of replace our flock in, I don't know, what would you call it, periodically over time. We don't usually do like an all in, all out.
Well, every year you add some and take some.
Yeah, basically.
Because we always keep at least we have, well, right now we have 5 different lines of hens. And each line, we usually try to keep 2 older hens that we know have gone broody. We tag them with a gray band to let us know that they've gone broody. And so we keep them. And then we kind of then go through the other 5 or 6 birds and choose who's the best to stay. And then we bring up 2 or 3 young ones to join the group. So
or more.
Yeah, depending on how it fluctuates.
It's always an adaptive thing. It just depends on what we get produced and whatnot too. But
yeah,
I think we've got a few this year of older birds that we kind of know are not going to stay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we usually quite often actually get rid of them in the springtime once we know they're not. It's like if they didn't sit and somebody else did, then the older birds.
What was it? The old green hen who was like
how old was 7. She was 7 this year.
She was 7, but she kind of got to the point where.
And last year she was the last of her line. And we got 7 eggs or 8 eggs from her because Phoebe sat them and hatched out 2. So it was kind of nice because then she was paired with her daughter, and her daughter sat and has hatched out 3 more hens. So the green line is slowly increasing, but she was not laying anymore.
No, she quit, but it is what it is.
She laid for 6 years.
We don't actually have garlic chives. We have a wild thing that's similar to garlic chives. It's I don't know. I should know what it is. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
It smells like garlic chives, but
yeah,
I don't think it actually is.
We've never actually tried growing chives from seeds. I'm sure it's not much different than
onions. Seeds,
we could probably make that work.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I would try it.
Yeah. Well, anything that you can have, keep going like that. 12 years is pretty awesome for a chicken.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to end up with a couple that are that old. It's like Phoebe, even though she's not standard, she's probably going to stay.
Yeah.
It's like your sheep.
Which one?
The lamb.
Oh, Annie?
Yeah, your bottle lamb.
My little orphan Annie. Well, she's not really an orphan. She sort of is, I guess, because her mom didn't want her. But yeah, she's going to have to stay to the bitter end now because she's such a pet.
Well, she always sits on the eggs you give her. She's the one that we.
You're talking about Phoebe. I'm talking about it. Oh my gosh.
It's getting late.
I'm talking about a sheep. You're talking about a chicken. The sheep does not sit the eggs. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the chicken. She's
the
okay.
One
that, we filmed hatch.
Phoebe, yes. Hatching. Phoebe will be staying till the. Well, then what did you bring up about the sheep?
Well, because you're probably going to keep that sheep till the very end.
Not if she doesn't stay in the fence.
Well, she's going to outgrow that pretty quick.
Yeah, I know.
But I have had garlic chives. They do have a garlic flavor, but I would say it's mild. It's not as strong. But they're kind of not quite oniony taste or chive tasting, and not quite full on garlic. They're kind of in the middle.
Yeah,
is the best way to describe it. I've grown them before. We had some at the old place, didn't we? We just didn't bring it with us.
Yeah,
we just didn't get that far. It was lower on the priority list, unfortunately. But
still, that's pretty awesome. That's a 9-year-old hen, so that's pretty good.
But I mean, 9 years old eventually.
Well, and I suppose for the most part, I know it sounds really bad to say, but we don't keep them that long that we would know.
To be honest, we usually end up replacing them because we have the little mini population. We usually end up with chicks that are better in some way.
They're slowly improving.
Yeah, which I know that sounds bad, but that's usually what happens. That's usually what ends up happening. Our garlic is doing amazing.
Yes, I did break down and water it today. I don't know if that was a bad move or not, but it is so dry. The ends were starting to go like that dried up brown.
It's not quite late enough for it to go dormant.
Oh, I know, and it was just like I'm going to have to water it. But I mean, that was something perennial. I don't like to water them unless you absolutely have to.
But it hasn't been watered in like a month and a half.
No, yeah,
or whenever it rained last.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's that bad.
But let me write, or can you? You can't write, can you?
Oh, I can.
No, I'm just going to put our email so that if Chrissy wants to send me an email, then I can. I'll send our address.
Yeah, that works.
Only because it's not that I don't trust anybody in this chat, but it's the fact that the chat's public and everybody can see it later. And we don't have a PO box; we only have our address. So I will send it to Chrissy from. Email. So I'm just typing the email.
Yeah, our garlic's, well, I would say it stayed up until recently, it stayed fairly moist under the mulch, given that we haven't had any rain. But like you say, we basically had no rain all May.
Oh, well, that's the first time I've watered it.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fine.
But it looks amazing, but the smell, it just is like
maybe that's why we don't have a lot of cabbage white butterflies.
Maybe, but
it's just a huge patch of.
Well, next year I'm going to spread the garlic in a few different areas because if it does actually help with the cabbage whites, then I'm going to do that.
And if Honey Badgers is still in here, we're looking forward to the elephant garlic because we planted that this weekend.
Yes.
I think we just did we did the video on that today?
The video was today, yeah.
So, and I think it was, I'm sure it was already starting, we soaked it.
Like it was spreading.
It looked like it was already starting to grow the root bits even after soaking it. So
wow.
It seemed to, I zoomed in on that and I'm pretty sure that wasn't there when I put it in the water.
Well,
but
that'd be good.
I'm curious to try that one though, because I don't think it'll get to I could be wrong, but I don't think it'll get to splitting into a bunch of new cloves this year, but we'll still be able to propagate from it next year, even if we pull it up and replant it.
Well, or even just to know, like, if it grows well and whatnot, to try and find more.
Well, actually, on that note, we've been meaning to ask you, is there anything that you would be interested in? Like, we have tons and tons of seeds. We just don't want to send you something that you wouldn't use.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But if there's anything that you've seen us talk about or think you might be interested in, let us know, because we can definitely, like, it's amazing that you sent that to us.
And we really, really appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
exciting and awesome.
So we would love to send you something back in return.
Yes.
Some kind of vegetable or seeds, or because we don't really have too much in the way of plants. And I don't know how well sweet potato slips would even transplant or travel in the mail, but seeds we can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, definitely. We'll just keep chugging along, and eventually something will catch our eye that you said mentioned in a video or something, and we'll be like, oh, we can do that. We have the power. We watched your one about the pesto and love that. So I'm excited to try that with our garlic, because what did we say?
Yeah.
We had, I can't remember how much.
The scapes.
The scapes. Yeah. Because we've got 268 garlic plants out there.
Something like that.
So I was trying to think of what to do with them, and I think that's going to be awesome.
268 music, plus we've got the Siberian.
And the Siberian too. So that one's out back.
Got the
and now the elephant garlic. So yeah, we got lots. So we'll have lots of the scapes.
It'll be interesting to see on the elephant garlic, because if MB planted it last Thanksgiving and they're harvesting some now, maybe by fall it will be big enough to be cloves. I don't know, because that's a little faster than it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving is later or earlier in the States?
I don't remember.
It's November, or is it October? It's November. Yeah, so it's later. So that, yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Now I'm going to put my math abilities here. On my fingers, I'm counting. Yeah, that's 6 months. That's pretty hard from here, because we planted that in May. You'd be December to dig it up, which would be like to get, yeah.
Hello, Vineyard
Chicks. Garlic infused oil.
Well, that actually would be a good idea too.
Yes.
We could do that this fall.
I have to, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited about having garlic, because I use in canning so much garlic. And you kind of, I know it sounds really bad, but you resort to buying the cheap Chinese stuff, because you're using so much and it's not the same flavor at all. Like last year we had some that we'd saved from what we bought for planting, and we did use it for some canning, and oh gosh, the flavor is just nothing like, yeah.
No,
store-bought stuff's not different. Anything like it.
That's a good idea. Pickling some. I never thought of that either. This is like a whole new world opened up to us of what we can do with garlic. Things you can do with garlic.
Pickled them. I did think about doing the chopping and freezing, putting them on, like I freeze everything on cookie sheets so that I can just reach in the bag and grab it.
It's actually,
that's what I kind of thought I would do. That's
something I'm sure the garlic would be the same way, but freezing it on the cookie sheet, like you do that with vegetables that they usually recommend that you blanch them.
I don't blanch anything.
It's amazing. Like they come out super fresh without the blanching. You just have to put them out on the sheet. Yeah.
Well, we did that with our peppers.
Yeah,
and they worked really well.
Peppers and the yellow crooked neck summer squash and the eggplant. You freeze that too, didn't you?
No, the eggplant I made into ratatouille and frozen canned.
Yeah,
which is good too. So this year though, we got a lot of eggplants. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be freezing some. So a lot of garlic and olive oil in a pan. $2.50 for an hour. Wow. Okay.
That's cool. Well, that's easy enough to do. We'll have to try that.
Well, and I'm looking ahead at Honey Badgers here with the dehydrating garlic. I really want to try and make garlic powder. But my one thing is if I can get it dry enough that it stays nice and doesn't go like a clump. That's my only
you'd probably
concern.
have to put, it's like sugar, you'd probably have to put something in it to take some moisture out, right? Like brown sugar.
Well, but they don't in store-bought.
That's because they add things to it.
That's true,
Isn't
yeah.
it silicone dioxide?
Something like that, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had 20 big bulbs.
Well, that's pretty good. I definitely seen, we watched,
Flavors and Textures.
yeah,
pulled hers
she
out.
pulled hers out, and hers was huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like,
it looked really
looking
good.
forward to it. The other thing about it with the elephant garlic, if it's basically a type of leek, I'm sure you could use the top.
The green?
The green in a very similar manner to
leeks.
I would think so.
Potato garlic soup.
I don't see why you couldn't. Hers
try.
anyways.
Just trying to figure out. Well, this is where MB, Crucy, if you go to MB's, one of their most recent videos, they made pesto out of it, and it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that we're definitely going to try. And then Miles just suggested pickling, which I think would be awesome.
Yeah. Or just freezing some of
and freezing some of them for like soups and things later.
Yep. Basically, it sounds. This one thing about garlic is any vegetable that you can get multiple products out of is pretty awesome.
And the garlic would be nice. This is one thing too I said about with the ginger. I want to figure out how to can it to preserve it, because it's like I go to the store and I buy ginger already all pureed up in a jar, and that's what I want to do with our ginger to keep it, because I have a good feeling about our ginger this year. I think we're going to have a lot that I'm going to have to actually figure out storing it. So
it's starting to come up.
Oh gosh, all this talk of food is just just garlic needs feed.
To be honest, I'm not an expert on garlic. We didn't do anything super special.
We mulched it, and then I watered it today for the first time. But it smells amazing and looks amazing, so I'm going to assume that it's developing well underground. But
I think it.
I saw we watched a video somewhere. Somebody had pulled one up or something. Maybe it was on Facebook. Someone had pulled one up, but it was not developed yet. But I think it'd be way too early to try and pull one up.
Oh, ours would be for sure.
Even though we planted them last winter, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good that a few of them did come up. Because when you planted them last fall?
I think it's one of those.
The big thing that we were concerned about was whether or not
we
covered them enough, right? Because we get the freeze thaw stuff.
Yeah.
But they seem to do well with the amount of cover that we put on them.
Yeah. And we planted ours late enough that they didn't come up before winter, which was, I think, probably very smart.
Yeah, I think it was a good idea, or just wasn't an idea; it just worked out that way. But
yeah, actually, that's a great idea, Cindy, because then you're putting it through the little garlic press anyways, so it doesn't matter. Like, do you find it in the freezer it gets soft? Not like I say, not that would matter. If anything, it would make it go through the squeezy thingy a lot faster.
You were telling me about this actually last year when I was down, and I think this is a great idea too. The garlic butter idea of just doing it with the immersion blender. I have to get one of those because we don't have one, do we?
I have two.
Oh, there you go. We can dedicate one.
Those are like the little handheld ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got two of them. Yeah, the pesto definitely. Oh gosh, we're coming up with so many ideas, and it seems like the garlic harvesting is so far away.
It's not though, because it's usually August, right? So you're only 2.5 months.
Oh, don't say that, because
then it's fall.
It's fall, and it's all over, and it's winter again.
20 more days of spring, and then we're into proper summer.
That's crazy.
Time is flying by. We're almost halfway through the year. That's crazy to me, but that we're already here.
Way to ruin the moment.
On that note.
Pardon me.
Well, yeah, if you planted them in the fall, they should have come up by now. For sure. Yeah. Or if they were going to come up, they should be up. But
there could be so many different factors.
Yeah, also very true. To be honest, we were quite amazed at the number we planted. Like, I don't think there was any that didn't come up.
Yes. Yeah.
But
no, there was.
There was a few?
There was 13 that did not come up. We planted 280, and 12 or 13 didn't come up.
Which isn't too bad.
Not bad at all.
You could
definitely plant it. That's all of. I can't remember what video we're on. Tomorrow's video, we actually show the onions that we grew from seed this year, which were actually seed harvested from onions that grew in our fridge. And I put them out last year just to see what would happen in one of our blue barrels. And I think there was five onions in total. And they all went to seed, and they grew beautiful onion starts this year. So hopefully they do something, and that may be our go-to onion for the rest of our lives, because it did amazing. I also have, I think 6 or 7 white onions out in a barrel from this year that I didn't have them in the fridge, but they started growing in the cupboard. And like they got kind of a green bit on them, about like that big.
They'll go to seed.
And so they're out there, and now they're starting to get the little flowery bit on them. So they'll go to seed too. So I'll keep those white seeds as well, but we're waiting to see how the red ones do, because we both prefer red onions.
Well, the nice part of it is they're biannual, so you could do both.
Oh, honey badgers, don't say stuff like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip for Vineyard Chicks, but that's just bad. I'm blocking it on the I don't want to see it. Time to start our shopping.
That also sounds pretty good. Yeah, now we got to go make something to eat.
Yeah, well, that sounds like how we roast our garlic. I make a roasted garlic pasta sauce, basically, I put them into one of those aluminum throwaway pie pans, and I just, like you say, just slice the top off, but leave the skin on, and then I pour olive oil all into the cloves, and the skin kind of holds the oil around it, and then I put tin foil over the top, and then I bake it for about 45 minutes.
Works well.
Oh yeah, it makes, and then they just squish all out, but it tastes amazing in pasta sauce.
Works quite well.
Yeah. But I like the idea of the feta and yeah, definitely gonna have to do some cooking. We should do some cooking videos. Everybody got to do some cooking videos.
I'm sure we could come up with something.
Yes, I would like to do some canning videos, because we do a lot of canning. It's just one of those.
Not quite to that point.
Well, we're not in that season, and last year we'd only just started our channel, so I didn't really do any of them. But
30 days after Christmas bills.
Yes.
And then the whole cycle starts again. The never-ending yearly cycle.
I know. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, so it's very...
that's it, yeah.
Very similar then.
But...
Well, we'll definitely... I don't know. We've got a list of things to... video over time.
The list that always gets lost and rebuilt and started over. And
the big thing, we just video what we're doing most of the time.
Well, this is like our seed saving stuff. I was saying to I think we commented to somebody in MB's live, maybe it was actually MB. But we're doing we're just doing our seed saving videos. It's a whole series, but we're just doing it as we're doing it. So it's kind of one of those things. I feel like it shows people better how to do it, because it's at the time, like,
or when you need to think of it.
Yeah. Rather than here's our seeds and then going back and showing people after the fact kind of thing. We're doing it as we go.
I don't know. We had a lot of blossoms.
It's not. Now, saying that, like Chris was saying, we're going to probably get nicer apples, because basically each blossom cluster has maybe 1 or 2 apples, maybe. And some of them trees didn't get nearly as much as others. But
the big thing is the blossoms came out, and then it didn't frost, but it cooled down, and
there was no bees.
There was no insects at all.
Nothing to pollinate.
So I think a lot of them just didn't get pollinated, and even the like usually the Tennessee warblers and even the Baltimore Orioles and stuff are kind of
there,
back,
but they
and
weren't.
they weren't really. So
We had one. We still only have. Well,
no,
we have
we've got
two
more
Orioles
now, but there was a period there where like there just was nothing to pollinate them. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of it, I don't think it was the temperature. I think it, well,
Now, saying that, I haven't gone back to the back trees because our property sort of works in stages. So I
To see
bet you
what
the
they're
back
like.
trees, because they would have blossomed later,
probably.
have fruit. But the ones that we pruned up in pasture one and got them all nice and that
Next
sort of
year.
stuff, they have next to nothing on them. But
Next year.
they will produce better fruit, and that's the beauty of having 386 apple trees is they don't need to produce that many. We just hope the one that we really like for juice produces well. I haven't even gone over to look at it because I don't want to know.
Well, but it's one of those things too. We haven't really investigated all the trees super well. I'm sure because last year there was probably half the trees that didn't really produce much. So,
or we missed them completely. Their apples were all on the ground by the time we got there.
Yeah, so we'll still get lots of apples.
But
I don't think it's going to be as good as last year, but we'll see. But
it'll be different ones.
It's just weird how, like we say, the cool down happened, and then all the pollinating insects kind of just stopped. But then we also didn't have the normal pollinating birds kind of back at the time when you would expect it. So, and then they just kind of blasted through. It's like the Tennessee warblers, weren't they here for like a day or two?
That was it.
And usually they're here for like a week in the apple trees. So
sorry, I was going back to Cindy's one. We're getting close, Cindy. Thank you for noticing. I think we've got 40 left.
Something like that.
Something like that. Anyways, we're actually kind of, we watch it, but we don't watch it too closely because it goes up and then it goes down. It goes up and then it goes down. And it's just like a wild ride. So, but it's kind of nice because it's been a slow, steady climb and our hours are catching up. So that's kind of nice. So
we're not too
we'll
far.
still be scrambling for a little bit of hours, but the goal was hopefully to have the watch time and the subscribers by 1 year, and end of July is 1 year. So I do think we will get there.
Good chance.
There's a pretty good chance that we'll get there.
We're getting pretty close.
And yeah, we're not doing anything special for, like to try and do it. We're just kind of watching it and letting it go.
We found more horseradish.
That's awesome. We broke down and bought some horseradish.
Well, we just happened to be at the feed store and they had one and it looked really good. And we don't have any and I haven't found any around here. So we're like, we'll get it. We ended up we planted it in the food forest where it can kind of spread and do what it wants.
Yeah.
But
you guys are so lucky that you got a whole bunch close together and you're allowed to socialize, sort of. We're still on stinking lockdown, can't cross borders, can't go outside your yard. But anyways, it's supposed to end this week, isn't it? So hopefully we'll be able to start organizing some stuff and doing some things, but
well, we'll see how it goes.
Yes. You guys must be like nicely close together. Actually, I shouldn't say that because we've had
close to a few people. It's too bad we're not closer to Miles.
Yes, Miles, you're too far away.
A bit of a
you need to move. And what's the one? Why can't I remember the one that we got this summer to plenty from? Oh, I'm having a moment.
I think we're just tired.
Yeah. Anyways, they're only like half an hour away, so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the interesting part. There's lots of people on here that are. He's laughing.
Yes.
I don't know. We'd have a hard time moving down there.
We couldn't afford to move down there.
We have to move everything again.
Again, yeah.
That's a lot further.
No, there's not. Yeah. Miles isn't set up to be a midway point for like bringing animals down a couple of weeks. That he could look after.
Although we did, our cows are almost in that far.
That's true.
Not quite.
The cat is being really bad.
Yes, she is. She's gonna fall out of the window, anyways.
But you're still looking for us on Odyssey?
No, they found us. We haven't actually been on Odyssey very much.
I know. We got really once things got Good to see you, Miles.
Good
Once
night,
things
Miles.
got busy, I went on there. Actually, it was during your live the other night. I was like, I'm gonna go and look because I can't think of the last time we logged in, and there was a whole bunch of comments that we had to.
Good night, Vineyard Chicks. Thank you for coming in, and I'll give you a call sometime soon, Miles.
Yeah.
Sooner than later.
Yeah, but no, we.
Yeah, we haven't been on Odyssey very much. Not just, yeah.
Just forget. You just get forgetful, but yeah, you were talking about it on your live there, and it ended up, yeah. We were like, oh man, we got to go check it, and we went and checked, and there was a bunch of comments. So now we got to answer a bunch of comments, but that's okay. Elephant one didn't come. Oh, he's talking about the turnip and garlic video.
Oh.
I'm not sure how to figure it out. I'm sure you've commented on our stuff on Odyssey. Oh, just the one video hadn't. Yeah, I was gonna say you follow us on Odyssey. I've answered your comments. I remember that. Anyways,
that's interesting. We'll have to check out and see why that didn't.
Well, sometimes it likes you, sometimes it doesn't. Not sure, but we'll look into it and see what it's all about.
Make sure it's still working.
We honestly can't figure out some of Odyssey and getting all the information that you want off of it. Like they're different with their analytics and stuff like that than YouTube. They don't give you as much information.
Oh, we'll have to look for Voon as well.
Yeah.
You can do that right now. There you go.
Oh, she was already there. There we are.
I found you.
We found you. I'll follow Voon. There we are. We followed Voon. Yeah, it's a neat thing, and we've kind of been on it, but just haven't because we were really good with it over the winter time. We were making sure we were watching stuff and we were on it, and
it's just one of those things. Everything sort of. We do want to do a few videos
that are just specifically for Odyssey. I think it'd be a smart idea. Mm-hmm. We also find we follow different. We watch different people on Odyssey because sometimes it's yeah.
The sad thing of not putting all your eggs in one basket. That's like that's got to be like the one golden homesteading rule.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, it was kind of neat though because we clicked on it and then we're like, oh, look, we actually have like decent viewing and followers on Odyssey. So
which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe they're just slow to load some stuff because we found that when we transferred over our full YouTube thing. That was a lot of videos. It took forever, but then once it got going, it's been good, I think. But I don't know how many people actually use it.
Quite a few.
But it's kind of neat because it's kind of one of those fun things because some of the bigger channels are on there, and because Odyssey is so much smaller, you actually get an interaction with them as opposed to on YouTube, your comment or whatever is kind of just lost in a way, right? Because there's so many people and so many comments and so many followers. But on Odyssey, I find that you're not competing with so many people for getting that response back from a bigger channel, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But
it's I'm not going to do it justice, Crucy, but it's another platform basically.
It's very similar to YouTube. I think they're somehow connected because when we load on YouTube, it loads automatically to Odyssey.
Set up for that, but it's different. It's a little different to navigate and stuff, but it's kind of what it's like it's like networks, right? Your show's on more than one network.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's kind of one way to look at it in a way, but yeah. Oh, I think on that note, we're dwindling.
Yes, and you have to get up early.
So we may
wrap it up
there. But thank you, everybody who came in. It's been It's always great.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't think we've ever had a live that hasn't been.
No.
They've always been. Well, maybe we had one. There was like 2 people came in, but it was still good conversation. Even though it was 2 people. That was a long time ago. But
Yeah.
anyways, it's
Hope everybody has a fantastic night
yeah. Hopefully everybody's
or
gardening
morning,
and
because it's practically morning for some. So, but
we're still an hour and a bit from
Yeah. Yeah.
the AM.
But we shall be here same time, same place
Yep,
next weekend
we're
or next
gonna-
week. Next weekend. Oh my goodness, it's one of those. But yes, have a fantastic night. Thank you very much for all the chit chat.
Mhm.
And
you,
we hope that
everybody,
you
for
all
coming
stay
in.
well this week, and we'll see you next week.
Hopefully everybody gets a lot of their gardening stuff sorted out and doesn't feel too tired by the end of it.
Yeah. But have a good night.
Bye, everybody.